Brazilian Airlines. Please remember to pick up your luggage at the nearest baggage claim. We hope you enjoy your stay.
Alright, I think we can start. I see Lauren is already here. Hello there. Glad to see you. Are an early bird and a frequent viewer of my streams. So hello there. Today is going to be an interesting one, I think. I will showcase a card game that has failed to become popular or well known, from what I can gather. We're going to take a look at it right now. Just like this, right? So it's called Ironclad Tactics, and if we take a look at its store page, we'll see only around how many? Yeah, 200 reviews, mostly positive, but still not a lot. And it came out all the way back in 2013, so it's not big, it's not very known. So I have decided to shed a little bit of light on it. I mean, as much as a channel of my size can. So let's launch it right away. No, not cards, not today, man. Maybe later. I mean, if we won't have much to show here, we will switch to another game, and I mean, we could play a few cards matches. But frankly, I've been finding it very difficult to build the new decks in cards for some reason. Just can't finish anything. I delete them halfway somewhere there. Alright, just gotta check if it's captured on stream. Right, it's running. I'm gonna turn on the music a little. So it's set in the Civil War, somewhere at the start of it, but it takes, as you can see, a few liberties, historical liberties. For example, steam robots exist in that universe. Oh, it's way too loud already. I don't. Okay, we put like this. We'll start a new game because there is actually a lot of elements that might overwhelm us. It's mostly a single player game, however it does have a co-op and a VS mode, so you can play with or against your friends. But then again, I have never checked any of the MP elements of it. I've had no one to play it with, and again, I doubt 8 years after its creation there are a lot of players playing it right now, with 200 reviews. I mean, you get what I mean. So we'll start with a basic tutorial, and well, it has a rather straightforward plot to guide us through the missions. So it's about two brothers, or maybe they're not brothers, maybe they're just friends. We don't actually know. Oh yeah, they are not brothers, two different friends. So it's about them developing these steam robots that we will be deploying and kind of playing with, fighting with. What I mean. So this old guy, I don't remember his name. It's a weird one. So I mean, I won't focus too much on the plot. You can buy the game and see it for yourself. I just want to show the gameplay elements, and we are starting from the beginning again, just to not to be overwhelmed with too many cards and mechanics. So these are the things. It's a new invention, and the thing is, the Civil War starts soon, though we don't know it yet, plot-wise, I mean. So what you do is you play cards on one of the lines. So this, the left line, the left side is yours, right is your opponent's. So the game at one turn consists of several phases. You can see them on the bottom, left bottom of the screen over here. So it's the play phase, where you just think and play cards. Act when units move, and I forgot the rest. Hold on, we'll be back soon to actual playing. Yeah. Again, nothing fancy about the plot. Just for some reason I can't really skip it. Okay, there it is. So every time you win a match, a mission for the first time, you get some new cards that you can use to create a deck or tune an already existing one. The first few tutorial missions are of course nothing special. You don't get your own deck. It's just to showcase some of the mechanics this game has. Weird. Why can't I skip those? I always saw you could kind of speed them up, but I guess you can't. Yeah, Zibolon is the name of this old guy, and he invented those first steam machines. Chassis, I think they are called. Oh well, I mean ironclads, but these are chassis, the basic ones. So yeah, act then goes kill. It's when units die after act. Act could be is mostly attacking, then move. So I mean it will be a little more clear when we get actual enemy units and tactics to show. So these tactics are kind of like orders, right? They have one-time effect, then they go away. Here it was used to navigate our ironclad around rocks, so and you can do it to navigate them around enemies and maybe get yourself into to a more advantageous position. This is where we are going to meet weapons. So the thing is, these ironclads, they come pretty much naked into the battle. They don't have a weapon, they don't have anything on them. What you have to do is take a weapon card and equip a friendly ironclad with a weapon, or maybe an upgrade. Again, that's also an option. We'll see that in a moment, right about now. So you first get your unit out, then you have to spend more points on equipping it. You can make them stop so they don't move during the move phase and stay in one place. It's important here so we don't get burned by the fire. And action points is basically your resources. You get a base amount of points every turn, and you can gain more if you control several strategic points on the map, for example, and so on. So we make them stop again. Sometimes you stop your units just to have them control a certain area, right? So you don't want to advance first. You don't play just the ironclads. You also have infantry cards, so they are way cheaper and usually come with their own weapons, so you don't have to equip them. But infantry can be, for example, trampled with by ironclads, so they are way cheaper but less secure, less powerful option. Again, we should get to building our first deck in a moment here. And again, it won't be much, but with each mission you get more and more cards, and then you will have to make a choice what to include and what to focus on your deck on. And given these are single player kind of puzzle missions, you have to create a deck basically for every mission, because somewhere you need movement, somewhere you need specific weapons, specific ironclads, maybe more infantry. It should be just in a few comic strips here. Obvious one. Again, it gets pretty deep rather fast. You have a lot of toys. It's a potato head woman. Never really liked that character. So quite a few strategies to stick to. So again, we complete the mission and we get the weapons for our future deck. There should be around 1 or 2 more tutorial missions and we should get to actual playing. So the thing is, the Civil War is about to break out, and somehow the Confederates also have these ironclads, so they will be, it's mostly will be about them fighting the Union. Another tutorial mission based on movement. So again, we have our ironclad, which we can move around using maneuver tactics, which are again just like orders, one-time effects. And you see every turn we have +1 action point. Alright. So every time you move, I mean, when we are going to have an enemy, they will move as well. So there will be it will be a lot harder to manage, I would say, because you could have on every line you could have some sort of situation, some sort of clash with your opponent, and you have to manage them all at once. You won't be able to pause this, let's say, timer, let's call it. So you really have to think fast. Oh right, I forgot we need 3 of these. So yeah, to win you have to gain enough victory points. Usually it's 8 in proper matches. You do that by moving an Ironclad to your opponent's side. You will lose the Ironclad, but gain a set amount of victory points. Sometimes it's 2, it can be 3, it depends on the Ironclad. I mean, the general rule is the better this Ironclad is, the less victory points he will secure if you move them. So yeah, we got these maneuver cards and field repairs that restore 2 health to a friendly Ironclad. This will be the first kind of real mission, and every mission has challenges. So for example, here we can should trample 5 enemy infantry and defend the Jefferson statue, and if we do any of these or both, we will get additional cards. So, but first we need to build a deck. It's quite simple, again, considering we don't have many cards to start with. You just select and you can have exactly 20 cards, no less, no more. Again, at the start we're rather limited in our choice, we just put everything, frankly, yeah. So yeah, you may complete these challenges, you may not, but usually the reward is worth it to kind of go out of your way to try to complete that particular challenge. That's what we're going to try to do, at least. It will give us more again options, toys to showcase here. Again, a pretty fun little game. Bit of a kind of sad that nobody's really playing it, because again it has multiplayer and
on watch.
I would like to try it someday. So yeah, that's the infantry. It's a scout. He has a speed of 2, so he moves 2 squares each turn. But the downside of an infantry is that it can get trampled by an Ironclad, so I don't even have to give him a weapon. When they move, yeah, you see, just then we can move, and yeah, weapons usually have a pattern of a set range and a pattern. So excuse me, kind of have to think fast here. Yeah, it's kind of fast-paced, I'd say, because again you can pause things. It goes kind of fast, and you have to keep your eye on a lot of things at once here. That's just 3 lines, or maybe I would even say 2 lines, right, of action happening, and you'll have 6 or so in usual missions, or was it 5 maybe? I can't quite remember.
I reckon.
Alright, we have to trample 5 infantry. We've only done, I think, 2, right? So one of my favorite strategies is to stop my Ironclad somewhere right in front of enemy territory. So, alright, 5 is done, we can actually finish this here. Anyways, losing an Ironclad sucks, kind of. I mean, if you gain victory points, but they give you no immediate tactical advantage. So I like to just stop them in front of the enemy and accumulate them, effectively blocking them, the enemy from putting his own forces out, right, until I have enough Ironclads to just instantly get all the victory points and finish the match. So that's one strategy you can have. that should be a bit more of blood. And again, it turns out someone has been selling these ironclads to the Confederates. We don't really know who or why. And the guy doing this business will be our main villains here, I'd say. Some more blood. Art style kind of not something I personally enjoy. Maybe it's I mean, it's better than what I would draw in any case, but can't say it's too catchy or anything. Some of the animations are nice. We'll see if I can show you my favorite unit. It's quite amusing to look at, but again, still ways away. Okay, so here we've got infantry. It's a lot cheaper. It's only 3 action points for a rifleman, and he already comes with his own rifle. But again, he has way less health. He won't give you any victory points, and he can be trampled by ironclads. We get 4 cards for just completing the mission, and some more extra ones for completing the challenges. The cat gives +1 speed to an ironclad, which is quite... I didn't find it particularly useful, but well. So still, infantry is rather important in this game, because only they can capture points. We should be seeing them in action really soon, so we'll put a bit of those here. Oops. Oh, by the way, should have mentioned that even earlier. Right now the game is heavily discounted. It's like 70% off, but the offer ends in less than 24 hours today, I would say. So yeah, if you hold a point, you get more action points every phase. So here we can see it's 0.5 points for each, well, point, excuse me. But only infantry can hold it. So let's leave our rifleman here. No need to kind of bring him closer to the enemy, because again, these guys will just run him over. Again, no real problem if, for example, this guy goes all the way to here, because infantry does not provide any victory points. One important thing to consider here is that act phase happens before kill phase, so even dead units, right, like this one right here, can still make an attack and only then die. So this, for example, move this guy over. There wasn't actually much point in this. And we send our scout to capture the point. Again, Ironclad won't do here. We have Ironclad specific tactics that, for example, field repair, you can only use that on an Ironclad. You get infantry specific tactic cards that can only be targeted on infantry. So quite a few things, and you also have actually I'll talk about that more when we get to deck building. Okay, so we can stop right here and just wait for 2 more ironclads. Alright, challenges, what were those? Destroy a heavy chest, we haven't seen that one yet. Now, as I have already mentioned, there is a co-op mode, and right in the story, so we could have been beating these exact missions with someone else. So again, I'm not really sure how that works. If that features a bigger map, or we have shared resources, which actually I guess wouldn't make too much sense, wouldn't be too fun. But again, it is something that you can experience with a friend, but again, haven't seen anyone doing it, frankly. There are also cards that you get by winning in PvP matches, so we can send these guys. Oh no, we can't really. You can stop them on the last square to prevent like you from just blocking your opponent. Oh yeah, we needed to destroy this guy for a reward, but he appeared way too late. I don't think we can just catch him. A lot of maps will have obstacles on them or other interesting points to hold, maybe some features, they will be shorter, longer, wider, more narrow. So again, I'm starting from the start because I myself don't remember much from this game. And also just to kind of little by little show you the elements of it, so we'll take a look at this card in a moment. Oh yeah, there's also this thing called card upgrades, so whenever you do something that's written on the card, for example, we had to attack 30 enemies with the carbine musket, you get well, basically an upgraded version of that card, which is now a rifled musket. It's more expensive but also has more range. 2 more squares you can see the range over here, and it actually has another upgrade stage, right, that we've just seen, which again involves just attacking with it. So revolver here has an interesting pattern. As you can see, it can attack adjacent lines, so but it's still only 1 damage and quite expensive, I'd say, for what it's doing. Trumpet, for example, is a nice example of synergy with infantry. It gives all, well, in a 6 radius, as you can see over here, armor 1 to friendly infantry. We could try it. I don't like it very much, but just for the sake of showcasing, right, we can teach field repair, I think. Yeah. We only have 1 of it, so I doubt it will make much difference. Again, don't want to... No, actually, let's take the musket, even though it's more expensive. Take 2 of each. Revolver, I mean, it can be useful, right? Saves us a maneuver. We don't have to move to a line to actually keep it under control, but we'll be fine, I think. Let's take a look at the challenges. Gain 8 PP using mortars, so that's another new kind of point you can hold with your infantry. It will be explained shortly, I think. Don't attack with ironclad weapons. It actually, yeah, that actually makes sense. Combined with our trumpets and whatnot, so we could remove all the weapons for this challenge, but I think that's too much of a hassle for now, actually. Maybe some other time. Again, you can come back to these missions, for example, if you have a difficulty beating some of the later missions. You can come back, collect more cards, maybe tune your decks, and again give it another shot. You're not missing much if you're not reading any of this, as I do right now. Again, not too deep, but oh, we should have taken more infantry. That's what I forgot to do. So when you hold a mortar for 2 turns with an infantry, you have to actually leave it there. Okay, so you see, smart move. You stop your infantry because for the infantry it's not...
Okay.
What's going on?
That's actually quite bad. It's not beneficial to close distance with an ironclad. Ah, right, they will get it, right? Only 2 defense. What a shame. Could have moved it away, but again, I was too slow with that.
On watch.
Oh yeah, when you keep an infantry for 2 turns on a single mortar tile, it shoots and you get 1 victory point. So the challenge of this mission is just not to send anyone on that side and have mortars do all the job, which I don't mind. It's actually easier to again not give your resources up by sacrificing ironclads and just standing here. Maybe we can be quite cheeky and try doing this. This would be actually quite fun if we get one more maneuver from our deck. The cards are drawn randomly from what I can gather.
I reckon.
Just need to get one more maneuver. Hope it's somewhere close. I'm getting a bit worried, to be honest.
I reckon.
These guys just not doing much. Oh yeah, there it is. Now we can do this, for example, during the play phase, and yeah, do this.
On it. Fixing to go. Yahoo!
Oh, we actually probably should let these guys through because we have very little victory points to spare. So yeah, now we just hold the points and basically chill. We could allow these guys to do right because we have 3 points to spare. So maybe we don't care about that. That's pretty much it. Oh, as you can see, the opponent is using a revolver, but again, not a very universal weapon, I'd say. Though again, it's still pretty cheap. Could use some better stuff here. Oh well, it's probably dying then. I didn't notice that. Saber, that's a nice thing. So as you can see, the range is very limited, just 1 square on each side, but the damage is 2 and it hits all. So for example, if it was surrounded by enemies, it would hit all 3 of them. Which we better move on. What should I step here?
I'm ready.
Oh, we can let these guys fight for battles. Let's try this one. So we slipped right past through this guy, he couldn't attack us. But he's going to make a short work of this guy because the damage of 2 is quite scary. Oh, also, I shouldn't have moved, should have stopped this guy because as you can see it's going to hit all. But we're only 1 victory point away, so I guess we just keep them busy, right, and don't let them on this side. We will be safe. Just 1 right turn should be 1 turn victory. Yeah, that's it. So some missions might have both the AP points and the VP points, as we can call them, right? So both mortars and just the control points we saw before. They use a nice mix of everything at the later stages, and frankly I think it's a rather challenging game by again later missions, later stages. I did have to at least tune or maybe outright just delete and make a new deck for every mission, because they always have some sort of quirk and that you have to account for and can't really ignore. At the start, of course, it goes easy on you, just playing matches. You and the enemy is on somewhat fair terms. We're kind of even. Oh yeah, we've got the saber and the battle flag that actually allows an ironclad to occupy and capture points like an infantry would. Again, it costs you an extra action point and a card slot and a head slot, so I'll show that in a moment. New weapon and then a saber. I won't put again flags in, I think it's a bit of a waste, but again, it's something that you can use in, for example, Ironclad only deck. You will still need something to capture points with, right? And that could be an option, but frankly, I find just getting infantry that also provides a little bit of firepower more useful. So light cannon, it has a splash, meaning it will also damage enemies in a cross pattern, so to the right, to the left, to the bottom of where the shot lands, right, and up, of course. So in all sides pretty much. And reload 2, which means it will take 2 act phases, so pretty much 2 turns to load it up before it can be fired, and between each shot you will have to spend 2 rounds without firing it. The range is also interesting, it's a new thing, so it can't be fired at targets closer than 3 tiles, we will say, right? So it's highlighted, the available tiles are highlighted here, the ones are kind of faded out, as you can see. But it has a damage of 3, and again it kind of hits everyone that it kind of lands in, right, in a splash pattern. So cavalry saber is actually quite useful. We will be taking at least a few of those. Let's see what we can sacrifice. Maybe 1 maneuver. It's just too much. But then again, we can see that we have a lot of parts and tactics and less infantry and ironclads. So if we are dealt an unfortunate hand, might be a problem. Oh, as you can see, we have factions. You can have maximum of 2 factions over here, as you can see. We haven't discovered a lot of them, but they are quite interesting. They all have their own quirks. You have natives, so I mean Indians, American Indians. You have France, you will have bandits, so like outlaws, they have their own infantry. And someone else, I don't remember, I haven't discovered all of them even. So there are still a lot more things to see. Oh, that's a boss level. I couldn't complete any challenges on him. But again, you can always return here when you have a stronger deck with more units. But basically, we'll see in a moment. So yeah, they don't want you to touch any of these repair stations, but they heal this guy up, and he kind of just moves up and down. Yeah, so it's kind of hard to just deliver burst damage. Oh well, scouts are quite useless here, as you can see. No points to capture, nothing to do with it. We can stop here again. No need to approach your enemy closer. Oh, that's actually a bad thing. So this guy has 2 VP on it, and it can also self-destruct and well, deal damage pretty much. We can kind of sacrifice the scout over here. Yeah. Oh, it just tramples over. I didn't know that. I thought we could just make a trigger on him and well, that's a shame. And it also has a speed of 2, so quite a big threat, frankly. Oh, I know what we should have taken. Actually, it's in this match here. It's a bit of it will be a long fight if we don't take, for example, some cannons, and we won't need sabers actually. Oh, I didn't save the deck last time. That's a shame. So let's take muskets out, and maybe actually infantry. We will take cannons because they have a lot of damage, and their splash is useful against repair stations to just demolish them. 18 this, and maybe yeah, so again, each missions kind of requires you to kind of adapt to its conditions. You see, we haven't been dealt an ironclad here, so bit of a shame. Okay, that's much better. We can wait until the cannon. The cards go away, as you can see, the unused ones, but we can spend an extra point to just kind of shuffle it back to... Oh, that's actually quite good. No, 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 my bad, I didn't want to equip him. No. Damn, that sucks. Didn't want him to move him up because he would just be killed. You can re-equip parts, so it's not that big of a problem. And sometimes you'll have to just sacrifice your guys here, so the kamikaze rocket thing won't just go through. Now we can get a rifleman in for some extra firepower. Yeah, you can see quite tough to deal with. I remember last time I had an easy time with this guy. I just got these stations and slowly chipped away.
I'm ready.
Itself. Spread them out a little so they aren't killed by a single shot. Yeah, the range is too short. They won't do much before they're dead. If it's too much, we can actually switch to my older save, where I have this mission beaten. Again, somehow, maybe I was luckier with the cards, maybe I had some extra challenges completed that allowed me to take more cannons, for example. I remember them being useful, so that should be the way to beat this mission. Oh, it's okay, it's still too dangerous. Yeah, if we get to an older save, I'll be able to show more cards. It's actually a lot of fun. They kind of fall together, if you know what I mean. So you can see the combos kind of be there. They form right in front of you, and it's a fun thing. Yeah, this will take an eternity. I'm not really gripping what I have to do here. Yeah, you can have profiles, and kind of, that's my first one. I don't remember anything about it. That's the other one, they are more modern. So yeah, fair bit. Oh yeah, this is a surprisingly effective deck that I've built. So it uses native chassis, right? Native, what do you call it? Yeah, Ironclads, I'm sorry. So they have a lot of their own things, for example a Tomahawk. You have French cards here from the DLC. Pretty sweet thing. You can repair your own Ironclads if you wish to spend resources on that. Fox Runner, really fun guy. I'll showcase him in a moment. So yeah, there were a lot more things, as you can see. Still a few factions undiscovered, and I have no idea what they are. So quite excited to see what they are. You have a few DLCs. Most of them are available after you beat the campaign, and I've never done it actually. But Blood and Ironclads, for example, is about Franco-Prussian War. Yeah, so same stuff, but happens in Europe, and you can have you can win
At your service.
French cards, for example. This here is a Mr. Sauce Lieutenant. Yeah, skirmish chassis. Yeah, those are pretty nice. They're quite vanilla, but they have a chain card with them. So a chain card is something that is dealt to you when you play a unit that is associated with it. So they have a dodge, which is pretty much maneuver that moves a guy.
Allons-y.
No, that's a funny one. So yeah, and it's not spent when you use it, so you can keep dodging if you can spend the points, so you can keep switching lines. That's a bit. What is that? Barrage Marcheur. No idea what that is. As you can see, I'm already losing. I haven't been paying too much attention. So yeah, this guy has armor 1. So all attacks that deal 1 damage just do nothing to him.
Here I am.
Well, we won't be stopping this guy anymore. Oh yeah, this guy also heals friendly infantry when he enters. one deployed. Officer's Saber is an interesting one, so it has more damage. All three. Oh yeah, Fox Runner. These are pretty useful fellows here.
It begins.
He starts off as a scout with speed 2, so he can cover a lot of ground. But his chain card is a Fox Ambusher, so whenever he comes... Oh, no, that's, that's a poor example. Okay, yeah, let's stop him here. Oh, okay, you see, he moved quite cleverly. They actually hold all the points. I have no hope of winning this one. Maybe we will be dealt a better hand right now. For example, Fox Runners at the start, pretty useful. This guy will do as well.
Look at these pants!
Capture a point to get us more resources. Oh, but then again we are threatened by the lieutenant guy with his almighty saber that just hits everywhere. We can do this though. We can be cheeky as well. Yeah, Fox Runner. This will be a better example. So yeah, after you don't need his speed anymore, you can pull out the rifle and be kind of like an ordinary.
It is time.
Like this one. So you can quickly capture a point and then have him hold it for some time. Quite a nice feature of native deck. Oh, again, hits all, reload one. Oh, so it's more like a machine gun, I guess. Yeah, it is. But it has, it needs to reload.
Ready. Now.
If you don't need scout at all, you can just instantly pull out a rifle. Oh, actually, yeah, there was a chance.
Here I am.
Just on us. Sadly, not drawing enough weapons right here, but it's a little too late, I'm afraid.
Ta-da!
I guess we'll have to let this one pass. Again, not a big deal, but yeah, it's Germany against well, Prussia against France, but yeah, it's pretty much Germany. Now, rip this guy. Oh, he'll actually go through, right? Yeah, doesn't just one shot them. The French are quite cheeky in this game, I've got to say. Quite dangerous. Oops, I failed this one. Well, I could use an infantry over here to capture.
At your service.
Ooh, that's a shame. So I guess my deck isn't that well balanced because, well, we're just not drawing the stuff I need, like getting maneuvers, for example. Yeah, maybe we need to tune this deck a little to our liking. Oh, I was making a new one. Yeah, I forgot. Maybe I'll finish it later. Anyways, so what have we encountered? A lot of... we need more weapons, I think. That's what we need. Maybe even firearms, because this deck is mostly melee. Right, we only use sabers, but it's not working well right now. Especially, yeah, the officer's saber, as you can see, has a rather funky range. You can't attack in, you can't attack in front of you, only up and down, which is, well, what can we get? Oh, grape shot cannon is an interesting one, right? It deals whole 2 damage, but has a reload of 1, so... Oh, right, but we can't use them because that's a bandit faction. That would be our 3rd faction in the deck, so we have to forget about this one. Sadly, can't use France either, so only native guys. Arrow barrage, as you can see, the very specific weapon, rather strange range it has. Dragon is nice, yeah, damage 2, even though the range is short and it deals a lot of damage. You can have plain old artillery here, for example, so quite a few things to play around with. Well, actually, let's discard those changes and finish my other deck. I've been wanting to experiment with this chassis I found here. Yes, jetpack chassis. So it has a chain card, engage jets, that allows you to basically move this your selected ironclad somewhere else into a selected square up to 4 squares away. So I thought such mobility could prove useful in the field of the battle. Maybe we can pair it with France, or maybe even actually with natives, because they are inherently mobile. I'd say they have very fast chassis. For example, this ironclad here can deploy behind a friendly ironclad, so it's pretty small by itself, but well. Oh right, if we select this one, we won't have access to proper firearms, because neither of these factions has proper like guns for us to use. Well, we have improved musket, but it has a reload of 1, and again, not a very universal thing to have. So the best weapons right now I see has the US and France. The rest is rather quite specific, I would say. Only 20 cards, so it's not like you are getting lost in all these options. Although, again, yes, there is a lot to choose from here. We might actually want to make a French deck. I think that would be fun. France and I don't know, whatever comes along actually. Even though I don't have a lot of French units right now. This guy, for example, has a speed of 2 as an ironclad, which is again unusual. Excuse me for one moment. We'll pair French and bandits, because we all know that the French are basically bandits. This guy heals friendly ironclads, for example. It could prove useful, but yeah, it's quite important to choose the direction of your deck, because each turn equipped ironclad has 1 additional attack, but it costs all 3 action points, which is a little too steep, I would say. Oh right, I remember these guys. They are quite useful. They can just smash through infantry and have a lot of health, but they can't equip any items, neither weapons nor, for example, head modules, parts. That's what they are called. Let's try actually these guys like to heal our friends here. I need more chassis, but I don't have much unlock for France actually, so this might have been a poor choice for me. Actually no, enough ironclad, just more tactic I'd say, and weapons. So regarding weapons, we can have, yeah, grapeshot cannon, dragon I've taken already, and maybe that's it. Again, we don't need too many of those. Alright, this one is pretty good against infantry, even though I only have 1 of them, which is a bit of a shame. These are neutral cards, as you can see, they have no allegiance, I would say. Maybe we'll try loaded wheel. It has always appealed to me, but I've never found a place in a deck for it. No, let's get a tactic would be useful, right? Maybe maneuver and repair. Quite a lot of things, maybe won't be consistent at all, but we shall see how it works out. So then quite a few ways you can take your decks in.
Got a hankering for lead.
So this one is quite a usual henchman. I've only just unlocked this faction, so I don't have a lot for bandits really.
At your service.
Swift assault that gives, I think, additional movement. Yeah, hold 2. Oh, guess we'll let this guy press. Oh my, I forgot.
On my way.
Allons-y.
Let's just hold this place here. This lieutenant is doing things. I can't stop. So I guess this one is just really cheap, right? Because it has only 3 defense and 1 defense. Oh, this one will be nice because yeah, he will just trample over him, I think.
Oh!
Allons-y.
sure how help this guy out. Maybe mining engineer. And this will kind of provide a stalemate here. Like hit for one, this one will heal for one. Oh, and we can take our dragon out. Right. So again, you have always be wary of enemy just flanking you, even though it's a linear game, right? You can kind of find ways to sneak behind the opponent. Alright.
With valor.
Oh, yeah, I've done a bad thing. Shouldn't have came out. Too late to repair now. Well, at least we have this point. Has to mean something.
At your service.
So many things to consider again. These later missions, they don't joke around. We'll let this guy pass, I guess. It's not much you can do now. We'll try great shot right about now, I think.
With valor.
Man, these lieutenants are so good. I can't wait till I get more of them. Oh right, I wanted to try the other one. Great shot cannon. So
Voila!
hit this one now. We can just in time. Well, I guess we can keep this guy moving because he just jump over. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Oh no. What do I do now? Straight on top of this. Should be alright.
Allons-y.
Oh no, no it shouldn't. Alright. Oh, we can do fire at will though. Again, it won't help here. Oops. Shit. What's what is possible?
At once.
I really like the head animation.
Allons-y.
Every time he's hit, it just pulls out a new head. Yeah, damage 2. So this guy will die because armor does not reduce damage by 1, it just ignores attacks that do 1 damage. So a bit of a shame. Maybe we'll just
Enchanté.
exchange damage and kill each other. Should be good enough.
Got a hankering for lead.
The engineers are not doing much right now. Might want to replace them. Might have to ignore this guy actually because I don't have anything to answer that. Oh no. Bit of a shame. It is still. Oh, and I get hit. Yeah.
Here I am.
Hard to master, I'd say, because again, so much stuff to consider. I keep getting lost. Just I forget about one line or one front or anything. I just kind of focus too much on something I shouldn't be focused on. Oh no. Yeah, it's too late. Oh no, actually it was just in time. So we can... Yeah, he dies either way, I'm afraid. Yeah, sadly this battle is lost once again, so So something you really have to think about in every of these late missions. Maybe we'll have more luck in this story mission here. So play with a native only deck. It's, sounds hard. Don't lose any ironclads. Again, you don't have to complete both of these in one run, but of course it will save you time if you do. Maybe we can edit our deck and remove all the American options here. Because again, the natives seem to hold quite well on their own. They have some infantry and quite a few actually interesting ironclad options. Okay, we don't need this guy, I mean, we do actually quite, those are quite useful cards, but the challenge instructs us to ignore those. Okay, no sabers, right? No sabers. Alright, now it's native only, so we just fill it with, guess, more fox runners. Guess I'll even have to try the arrow barrage, though honestly it doesn't look very good. Oh, no, we don't have to, we still have this, for example. Bit of infantry, a lot of ironclads, some parts and some tanks. Should be good enough. So yeah, we're trying to swap this Dmitry guy because he somehow got his hands on a lot of ironclads and he's selling them to the Confederates. Plot. I mean, I don't mind that, don't get me wrong, I do read plot, I don't just skip it all the time, just I guess on the stream it's not really the thing we should be focused on. These ironclads really don't look like anything we've seen so far. Yeah, they look weird. What's about them? When this unit is destroyed, draw cards from your deck. That's interesting. Kind of a cantrip sort of ironclad, right? Tomahawk is really cheap, but the range is so limited. I don't know. When this unit reaches the other side, you gain 4 action points. That's interesting. But he can't attack, so it's kind of...
It begins.
Oh my, not even onslaught spell. Damn. Oh yeah, they have a lot more health, it seems like. Did we have to let him through? No. Yeah, I don't think I can answer that in any meaningful way. Guess we also let this one through. Well, a bit of a shame, of course.
Quickly.
Damage 2, hits all. Oh, kind of like a saber, but for a different faction. This. Russians. Does he look like a Russian? Yeah.
It begins.
Howdy.
We'll need a weapon for this guy. Maybe I should have removed camouflage. Oh yeah, you see, conceal chassis we can deploy it over here, for example, or here for extra victory points, I guess.
I got this.
Oh no, another one of those. Oh, we can do stuff this guy and actually shoot even this. This. Again, these little chassis guys would be full with some cheap ranged weapon. You just kind of fire from behind all these guys. Oh, I should have. Oh, yeah, that's one thing I don't understand. Sometimes when the chain card goes away, you can pretty much can't do anything, which is a bit of shit. I mean, you can no longer use it. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh, man. Should have stopped them here, but okay, guess. Okay.
Here to help. It is time.
Damn, there's a lot of things. This thing here, narrow passage, so infantry can go through this tile, but ironclads can't. guess we don't move on because we just trample my infantry here. And what can we do? What can we do? Oh, we can deploy a chassis behind another chassis. That's nice. Could have used the saber here actually, just to kill these guys. I guess it's not crucial. Oh no. What do I even do here? Oh, I know what would have helped us here. That arrow thing. Oh no, I removed it, right? So we won't be getting any arrows. Oh, we need only 3. Oh man, again, should always keep your eye out for these guys. No. We have almost one. We just need to. Let's save this guy. I think we still haven't lost a single Ironclad, so we should be fine. Regarding challenges,
I got this.
just need this guy to move up. Yeah. Wasn't too hard. Right. Mercenary ambush. Deploys masked mercenaries above and below selected friendly unit. That's interesting. Oh, and this one pushes enemy ironclads. I have already encountered this guy. Yeah. Quite useful. It's a unique ability. So when you have already seen, when ironclads kind of collide, they just neither of them moves. But with these guys, they will push them back even more. So where are those mercenary musketeers? I wonder if the unit is any good. Where were they? I must be blind. No, it was my bad. Oh, I can see them. Maybe I have. It's these guys. Oh yeah, musket. No, that's musket mercenary. And these are musket mercenary. Same unit. So they're quite trash, and they actually won't. I mean, but it's cheap. So you only spend 1 card and 5 action points, right, to deploy 2 units for 3 action points each. So I guess kind of interesting. I guess we'll stick to this native deck. It has proved to be quite useful actually. So what are the challenges? Hold all of flags for 1 turn, so these 2. And solve a puzzle. That's a unique mode over here. They're usually quite easy. Let's try puzzle first. Send raiders to the other side of the battlefield to gain more action points. That's true. Yeah, you guys. But how do you send them? I mean, they are. I probably have lost already. You usually have to act like during the first turn before enemy moves. So. Oh, slip through. It has a chain card, so for free you can actually weave them around. That's interesting. So yeah, then you do this. That's funny. But I guess I should have had. Oh yeah, we're 1 point short giving this guy a weapon. So guess we have to send both of them somehow.
Nice and quiet now.
This maybe. Oh, you see, I've already missed the opportunity. Damn. It's too fast, and there is no way you can pause it, so you can kind of always be on your feet.
Nice and quiet now.
Damage 1. But then there is this problem of them being just
Whoosh!
on the same line, so there is actually no way you can. I mean, you probably can if you. So. No. We obviously need both of them to have enough action points. I would like to send them kind of one after each other, but it's too slow, right? Well, maybe it isn't. Just wait. Whoosh! I do like the sound of that.
Whoosh!
So with 3 damage, yeah, we should be fine. Just kill this guy, go through. Really. Yeah, and you get a few cards for solving puzzles like that in some of the missions. Whoosh. Yeah. That was nice. Oh yeah, we actually get these raiders, but I'm not sure if they're going to be like good in a serious deck, because I mean, getting a 2 health infantry on the other side, they do have speed too, so maybe we will try when we make an actual bandit deck. And the sharpshooter, damage of 2, a lot of range, but reloads 2 turns. Could never understand this one. Don't think it's that great. Okay, back to story. Hold all the flex for 1 turn. Shouldn't be too hard. So it's basically steampunk, if you're wondering about the setting. Quite literally.
I'm an eagle.
Hot damn. Oh, so they can. Oh. Oh, I see how it is. Keep them away while fix this mess. Oh, so they have to hold out. They don't have to actually win. That's good. We just kept the point and die.
We move now.
So I've missed. Man, not ideal.
It is time.
Oh, that's perfect. Just in time. Out of their way. Now we could use a weapon. No, well, anyways, we got the point, so it's not that bad. That is a shame. Loud. Oh yeah, that effect was actually quite loud. So let's make it. Yeah, should be a little more comfortable.
What a view.
I'm not sure if we should move. Oh, well, we won't recap the point anyway, so yeah, I guess we just. We are now at a disadvantage. Oh my. Symbol of authority, speed +1, damage +1, that's actually terrible. Oh, he will still hit us because we have revolver, my bad. Yeah, again, failed to consider one of the things and lost a unit right there. What do we do? Oh, we push only behind the friendly Ironclad, so you can't put it here.
Here to help.
No man, that's too much. Don't think we can. Yeah, we're not even halfway there and they're already kind of overrunning my position. Oh, no. I'm going to do this and then tell him to move.
I'm an eagle.
Yeah, that guy is dead already. Well, yeah, the problem with this deck, they don't have good weapons, these natives, frankly. Oh my.
Here to help.
We still have a chance. If we don't let these guys might have a chance. Ah, we missed quickly. Oh yeah, he regains health, so it's not a big problem. Ooh. If we don't deal with this guy, we kind of lose. So if we can, would be nice. Yeah. So the cards are voiced, as you can clearly see. Oh, we can do this, I forgot. Oh, it actually doesn't matter because of damage too. That's a bit of a shame. I screwed up, I think. Oh, and he moves too. Yeah, that's it, I'm afraid. Yeah, I guess we just need to put more American weapons there, so because we only had tomahawks basically, right? Only the well, I guess you have seen enough actually. Right, that was what was it? Ironclad Tactics. Pretty fun little game, but again, a lot of multiplayer options, but not a lot of players, as you can see. And again, it's discounted rather heavily right now. We can check the store to see if the discount is still active. Yep, it ends in 19 hours basically. 75% off, so you can buy a 2-pack, give one to a friend. And I mean, I know I sound like a sponsored streamer, but no, I just wanted to showcase one of the less known card games. That is actually quite unusual, I would say. Let's do one match in cards, so we don't kind of end this so abruptly. We'll just do one cards match. I have recently gone back to it, just went from rank 15 to Field Marshal to see what the game is these days, basically. It seems like not much has changed. I feel like I'm still burned out because I used to play a lot of it in very long sessions, so I still can get back to it. So it still feels a little too old for me. But it probably has to do something with the fact that I only play with one deck over here, just this one. But again, I'm kind of struggling to build a new one. Something interesting. I mean, I know there is a lot of meta decks and a lot of things going around, but regarding unusual stuff and something fun to play, I haven't been able to find this, vibe. I guess it's pretty late, so not a lot of people playing usually in these hours. My favorite kind of deck, I guess the archetype can be called Japanese AoE. It relies on Tauras and Last Rites, and of course the order damage boosters to kind of to close the game out. But again, I made a small personal twist on it, so it's British ally and quite a lot of draw involved. I was just putting all the draw I could find, so it has Rising Suns and Convoys and a few other drawing units. I play Soviet German control / mid-range. Oh, important moment. What's the decision? Oh, I see. Yeah, pretty better. I guess he's picking a frontline, whatever that was, right? So better deal with it right away. Soviet German control. I haven't seen a lot of this one. I mean, yeah, Soviet control is nothing groundbreaking, right? But strange he didn't attack. Maybe he just forgot or has something. I don't know. Didn't seem like it. Sadly, there is not too much draw, and sometimes you just don't get the cards you need. And this is a rather combo reliant deck. So if your draw is on the bottom, you are quite stuck on. Oh yeah, I also run Crusader, even though I have British allies. It sometimes works. Yeah, I don't care about this one. It'll be fine, I'm sure. So yeah, for Crusader synergy, I pack naval power and fortification. Although fortification is obviously kind of harder to play with Crusader than. I guess if it's frontline stuff, oh, just that, okay, no problem then. You can still do it with an honorable death, which is actually a great card I have found. It used to attack, to apply only to units with 2 or less attack, which was quite niche, I would say. Now it's a lot better. So yeah, it doesn't draw as aggressively as my older iterations of it, with, for example, a Soviet ally that had these bloody sickles and all the Soviet draw possible, to kind of just draw as fast as possible. And again, it used to make sense to draw that aggressively back when kamikazes were 0 credits, right? But right now it's 1, so you can't like hope to, for example, let's be greedy here, right? And slow and greedy. You used to have this strategy of drawing as fast your kamikaze, your excuse me, your deck, and then filling it with kamikazes as fast as possible. But now, man, what a deck I'm facing here. No order damage, sadly, right? I guess we'll trade a little. Might wanna. Again, I'm waiting for some sort of AoE buff, AoE damage buff. Oh yeah, right. So these days you can't do as much burst damage as you used to be able to with kamikazes, because it's like a lot more expensive to actually play all 8 of them, right? You can only play one Seiran, and that's it, really. We need to save credit. That's a bit unfortunate, frankly, but well. Crusader is usually a cannon fodder here. It's just to kind of can draw a few cards, maybe 1 or 2 in a turn, and then die. Starter deck. Well, it looks like something like your classic aggressive US Soviet. I've seen it before, I think. Also this high up, I mean, in rating. So what do we do here? Let's actually play. I kind of want to the last man because we are low on resources. Well, he is low on resources, so he won't be able to just refill the board, right? It's a bit of a shame that we didn't get our order damage planes. Again, the fault of this deck is that it gets unlucky very often, because there are a lot of things for it to be considered a lucky outcome. A lot of cards at once, so you need your draw, you need your damage boosters, you need your AoE orders themselves. But those don't come every time either. So yeah, but with the healing, actually, it's quite nice that you can somewhat ignore your enemy for a little while at least. Just kind of wait until you get the cards and don't care too much about the damage. Let's keep drawing, right? Draw last, that's a bit of a mistake. Oh, finally, we get one of those. I have never seen that. Well, I haven't seen exactly this, but something similar, I mean, with Greyhounds and with the other stuff. The half tracks, of course, to combat guards, the Katyusha to synergize with Greyhound. I also see the US 1-3 artillery that removes guard on attack also. Oh, that's interesting. Well, alright. He really wants to kind of just slot all the damage he can. Let's chill for now. So again, the deck floats a lot of credits, so I don't mind leaving it right now. That's just how the deck is, frankly. Yeah, we should be fine here because of the AoE damage. Still fine, I guess. So yeah, these days you have to kind of bring them down to 12 health or lower to be able to splash enough damage in a single turn by using last rites. I mean kamikazes from last rites. So after the nerf, it's a lot less fun to play, I'd say. I still like the archetype of kind of this quasi-control, I would say, like, right? So it's almost like Control, but it really tries to deal all the damage it can. Just two more left. But again, as you can see, the opponent is actually keeping up with us. So our decks are not that different. Yeah, let's chill. Yeah. Should be fine. Only 5 cards left. Yeah. I used to have a German ally deck like this. It would use the German draw Enigmas, the 2-1 infantry that draws for occupied frontline. I guess you can use stars and stripes here to kind of clear most of this. Shame, but oh yeah, we still have a few naval powers unused. Shame, but again, this combo is quite explosive, like 4 damage out of nowhere pretty much. A lot of people consider way before the last rights combo, if the matchup is favorable. And they don't heal, so the buffed AoE damage itself is often enough, as you can see, to bring them like really low. Isolation is good both for enemy units and friendly ones. I guess that's the end here then. Should be, yeah, drawing enough here. Well, that's it. Again, I used to like how you can take this strategy to very many different ways. Like I've said, Soviet ally. I've had US allies for ramp. The deck is still around here. Yeah, so it's a lot slower because you have to play your ramp, of course. But even I think I even use Deadly Duty here. Yeah. I'm that desperate for cards, as you can see. So it's a lot slower because of war bonds and stuff, but it can pull off a lot of combos in the later game, if it makes it that far. So yes, Soviet ally, this is I think my very first deck of this archetype. That's when I fell in love with it. Yeah, I used to use this rifle regiment combined with Deadly Duty to kind of draw 2 cards of 1 unit basically, right? So use on the regiment itself and then the light infantry. Yeah, but it involved a lot of self-damage, sadly. I think I used to pack Winter Warfare, but especially to synergize with the Recon, but later I deemed it way too destructive for my own self. Yeah. So yeah, the British ally you have seen in action. Sadly, the German deck didn't survive. It was way too greedy. It needed frontline at all times, so it just gets stuck. Stalls and dies off. Oh, AJs, I guess you came just for cards, right? You missed a very interesting card game, but anyways, still glad you came to visit us here for the last match of today. Yeah, I think that will be it. It's getting a bit late here. We have played for, well, an hour basically, right? So just enough for me. I hope it was enough for you to see what the game is about. Again, heavily discounted if you wanna try it. It's quite challenging and well, I would say it's worth the money it costs now. So with discount, I think it's nice. Undiscounted, maybe a bit too much for what it is right now. Again, mostly single player. I mean, unless we want to team up and play together. But yeah, otherwise, that was it pretty much. Thanks everyone for coming. Thanks Chase. Thanks Lorraine. It was fun. It will be the end. Have a good night. Goodbye.